my theory is that when men are calling women gold diggers, they're projecting. Often men cite alimony as proof of women being gold diggers, forgetting the years and years of emotional, physical, and mental labor that keeps their household running, which is also the reason why women have to leave their career and education behind to support their husband and children. If not for these gold digging wives, these husbands wouldn't manage to reach their office in time with their pants on even one day, let alone going to the office, taking care of household chores and kids, which, by the way, is the reality of most married working women, which also saves these men the cost of a cook, domestic worker, chaperone, laundry, and whatnot. But all of this has been said before. This is not the only reason why I'm calling men gold diggers. I have a theory and I come with proof. Here's just a few of the many examples. So according to Hindu law, if a woman dies in a state that is without a will and she has property of her own, guess who the property goes to? Of course, first it goes to the husband and children, which is understandable. But if not, if the woman has no children and her husband has passed away, the property goes to the husband's heirs, which could be the husband's family, easily. And the husband could just as easily choose not to give the property to the wife's parents, or the wife's nieces or nephews or sisters and brothers. In fact, up until 2005, daughters did not even have co-parcenary rights. Now, co-parcenary is a person who inherits the property by birth. So before 2005, daughters could inherit property if they were put in the will or if they were gifted the property. But they didn't have any right to the property or any legal safeguards for the same. So when daughters don't have co-parcenary rights, what it essentially means is that by birth, they can't inherit the property by default. And the property can be done away with without their consent. It can be divided and they have no legal recourse for that. They can easily be left out and they can do nothing about it because they have no right over it. So up until 2005, that is what happened. And if you're not a co-parcener, you can't even ask for the property to be divided. You can't ask for your share because it's not yours. I swear, जिस frequency से मर्द, not all men कहते हैं, उसी frequency से women should start saying make a will. Now obviously जहाँ पे co-parcenary rights आ गए हैं वहाँ पे forced relinquishment भी ज़रूरी है. So now the daughters do have the legal safeguards to claim rights in their ancestral property. A lot of times they just end up being forced to relinquish their rights, forced to give up their property. Consider this case from just July 2025. The Supreme Court declared that a tribal woman is entitled to an equal share in ancestral property. But why did she have to go to the Supreme Court? Because the High Court judge was like, भाई तुम्हारे में तो कोई रीति रिवाज ही नहीं है फीमेल्स को प्रॉपर्टी देने का, एंसेस्ट्रल प्रॉपर्टी देने का, तो तुम क्यों मांग रहे हो? Like, and I know you're thinking ऐसे कैसे कोई फोर्स कर सकता है प्रॉपर्टी राइट साइन करने के लिए, और कौन गिव अप कर देगा इतनी इजीली? But people are forced to sign over their property rights all the time. There's just one Google search that shows me one case. I'm sure if you look around, you will find many cases all over. I know two people in my very close circles जिनके साथ ये actually हुआ है, whose mothers were forced to give up their property rights, or there was property dispute because they were not giving up their property. So yeah, all in all, men seem to be the real gold diggers, certified gold diggers, codified gold diggers. Because what the fuck? Because औरतों का समझ में आता है, they're asking for property rights from their father, from their husband. ये तुम्हारे भाई की बीवी की प्रॉपर्टी में तुम्हारा क्या हक है दोस्त? और जब औरतों के हक की बात है तो मुस्लिम पीछे क्यों रहे? According to Muslim law, the daughter only gets half the share compared to a son. Now, the explanation that most Maulanas, Muftis and religious scholars would give to this is that mothers and wives get a bigger share. But what if the daughter does not end up marrying? What if I don't end up having children? What if? What is this assumption that a woman is going to get married and have children? Or is the property an incentive to make sure women get married and have children? What is strange to me is there is no statistics available for just how much alimony is paid by men and women. For something that is apparently so rampant and for which men are exploited so much, there sure seems to be a dearth of data and statistics. Though when I looked up the statistics, there is this one report by one finance magazine that is being circulated on and on and on about how 42% of men had to take loans to pay their alimony. And when I try to look into it, this is clickbait because the 42% is not for alimony. 42% of men had to take loans for divorce proceedings and the legal counsel and whatnot, which could just as easily translate to men want to pay their lawyers so that they cannot pay their wives. And when I tried to search for this report, I tried to read it. I wanted to see what the statistics are, what the population was, who it was done by, who funded it, what were the results. I couldn't find the report anywhere. So if you find this report, then please send it to me because there's no way to cross-verify anything. And of course, the MRAs ran with it. They absolutely went wild with it because facts clearly don't matter to them. The truth clearly does not matter to them. Only their feelings do. And look at this headline. They're making it look like बस औरत कोर्ट जाती है, बोलती है मुझे इतना आधा प्रॉपर्टी चाहिए, मुझे 4 करोड़ रुपए चाहिए, और जज बोलता है साइंड क्वीन have fun. When the fact of the matter is that for half the cases of divorce, women don't even ask for alimony. And the cases where they do, 48%, almost half of them are pending. Almost 10% have been dismissed, and around 40% of them have been granted some kind of maintenance. And in this study, which I will be mentioning in the caption below because I check my sources, thank you very much, the women who did not have any income at all, on an average, they received only 13% of the man's salary as financial support. And that too did not come to them readily. About 35.6% of cases were resolved within a year. Most of them took anywhere between 1 and 5 years. So yeah, men do be gold digging. Next time a man calls you a gold digger, just say, jo bolta hai wahi hota hai, and move on.